Hey, welcome back to Unbridled. So in this video, I want to teach you how to move past your mental limitations. But before we get into that, let me tell you a story. So this was back in May. I had just joined the gym. I was in terrible shape. I was basically the fucking skinniest kid in the gym. And they had this sort of assessment. So before they the trainers, before they give you a set of exercises for you to do, they assess your health level or the level of fitness that you're at. So they made me do fucking push-ups and pull-ups, and they made me do a plank. And for those of you who know what a plank is or have done planks, you know how fucking hard it can be when you haven't really had any sort of experience or haven't done it before. So the first time I did a plank, I think it was around 15 seconds. And then I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. And so I just plopped to the ground. And that was where my progress started, with a plank of 15 seconds. Now, 2 days ago, I did a plank of full 4 minutes. Let that sink in. Full 4 minutes. I went from 15 seconds to 4 minutes. Now you might be asking, why am I rubbing this in your face, right? Well, while you do a plank, you sort of realize something, that the whole game, it's all mental. When you're doing a plank, your abs scream for 20% of the time. The 80%, it's just it's mental. Your mind tells you to stop now, oh fuck, it hurts, quit it. That's your mind saying that shit. If you don't believe me, you can try planking. Actually do that right now. Do a plank, keep going for I don't know, 30 seconds if you've never done it before, and if you have done it, try doing it for 1 minute, and then I don't know, extend that time by 30 seconds. So start off by thinking that, okay, I'm just gonna plank for a minute, and then when you hit that minute mark, try to go for 30 more seconds. And you'll see what I mean. You have this voice in your head that tells you, okay, this is our limit and we can't cross it because we are not capable of that. And I feel it's so fucked, because that is the very thing that is holding you back. And well, I named it. I found it in myself, in situations where I had to exert myself, but I couldn't because of this voice, and I named it my inner bitch. So yeah, the voice that, if you did the plank, if you followed my advice, if you did it, the voice that you heard was your own personal inner bitch. Now, why is it so compelling? Why is it so sweet, right? It always tells you the right things, even though you know that's wrong. It's convincing you to stay in this fucking pit of misery. But it's so convincing. And how does it do that? Well, it is a part of you. The inner bitch is part of your personality, or maybe not your personality, but who you are as a person. The inner bitch is part of that, and it knows all your insecurities, all your fears, all your shortcomings, all your weaknesses, and that sort of compounds. So you're left with this very convincing voice that tells you, okay, we know from past experiences that this is what we can do. And it's not that voice is wrong. It's stuck in the past. And if you stay stuck in the past, you can never grow. So, So yeah, this is how you win the war inside your head. This is how you win against your inner bitch. So, okay, let's understand the problem first. What is your inner bitch, right? Well, let me explain a little bit of evolutionary biology to you. Your brain, it evolved to keep you alive. It's a tool for survival. Let's say lions, right? They have claws. they have like sharp teeth. Well, we have brains, okay? Like we have like massive fucking brains, and that was our tool for survival, and that is how we evolved. We evolved big brains in order to survive. So yeah, your brain, it always looks for the path of least resistance. Now what does that mean? Well, when you do a plank, you feel a little bit of pain, and your brain sort of interprets pain as something that is bad. Well, not always, but like we'll get into the finer details later, but generally speaking, like think about this from a caveman point of view, right? Pain equals bad, bad equals death. So our brains learned how to like avoid pain, unless, and there's like a little caveat there, unless you have a stronger like reason in order to let's say bear that pain. So there's always a sort of cost benefit transactional like sort of equation that is going on in your head like 24/7. Your brain is calculating, is this particular thing worth the effort? So like it's taking all sorts of things into account, and if your brain thinks that the particular objective is not worth it, then you will not find yourself motivated to do it. And that is like the gist of why your inner bitch is so compelling. You can think of it like this way: the inner bitch is like an evolutionary survival mechanism that's evolved to keep you safe, so you don't take like these extreme risk-taking actions that could potentially lead to more harm to you than like benefit, right? So if it's like overly negative, it evolved to keep you safe from that. Now enter the 21st century, where you don't really have that strong of a competing interest. So let's say our caveman ancestors, right? They would be willing to like go through all that pain and shit because they needed to eat, so they needed to hunt, and they needed to mate, so they needed to fight. Now I'm only taking like two very gross oversimplifications of like all the things that went down. Like it's a whole the story, but I'm sure you can relate. So you have these two things, right? Like sex and food. But now enter the 21st century, where you don't have to even like step out of your home to get food. You can like just use Uber Eats for that. And like for sex, you can like trick your brain into thinking that you're having sex while you're watching porn. So what you're getting is like all the things that motivated our ancestors to like get out of their comfort zone and do shit is like basically at our fingertips. So we have like reduced the distance of like you, and there used to be like effort here, so you needed to exert effort get from point A to point B, and when you reached point B you would be rewarded, and that's like dopamine. But we have like reduced the distance between point A and point B so much that it is like this. So it's fucked, like no wonder you can't get out of your bed in the morning, and why it's so hard to quit porn, and why the inner bitch is like so compelling. And like, okay, that's the problem. Now how do we solve it, right? Okay, so here are like the two most effective ways in which you can solve the problem. First of all, you have to recognize that it's a thought, right? Like let's say okay, it's not even an exaggeration. You probably have more than like 10,000 thoughts a day, maybe even more than that. So when you have a thought, do you act on every single thought? Because if you did, you would be doing like 10,000 different things like throughout the day. And I'm sure you've had like some serious dark fucking thoughts, because I've had them. I know some thoughts that I have are not pretty. So yeah, like we'd be fucked if we just acted on our instincts. And like, well, maybe that's why Twitter is so toxic. But coming back on track. So you have to realize that it's just a thought. And the thing about thoughts is that you can learn how to manage them, and eventually you can like learn how to not have thoughts at all. And how do you do that? Well, meditation. I know I kind of sound like a broken record who's like repeating like the same shit over and over, but you have to realize meditation sort of like it just stops all the bad thoughts, you know? Like if you're really good at meditation, you can like eventually stop all thoughts when you want to. But let's just focus on the bad thoughts, and bad thoughts include shit like self-doubt, negativity, self-hate, and you're in a bitch. It's like a mixture of all those things, you know? It's like part of your insecurities, it's part of like your self-hate, your I don't know, your self-doubt. It's like a mixture of all those things. So if you meditate, you can like basically prevent yourself from going through all that process. Like you can basically stop the thoughts, you can weed out the problem at its roots. So that's your solution number one. And your solution number two is just plain fucking practice. And that is what I value so much about like having an inner bitch, which everybody does, is that when you like learn how to like say no to your inner bitch, you sort of like, David Goggins actually speaks about this a lot. He says that it calluses your mind, and I think he's like really like fucking on point, because yeah, look at this. If you lift weights, you're gonna get calluses like these on your hands, right? We all know that. And if you keep saying no to your like inner bitch and just do what you need to do, you can like just I don't know, you can actually train your mind to be more I don't know, exertful and like actually do the things that you want to. It's all about like the fucking plank. You have to work your way up through the ranks, basically. You have to level up. So if you think that you sort of can negotiate with your inner bitch at like a level of like that 15-second plank, you need to level that up slowly. So go from maybe like the 15-second level to the 30-second level, and then a minute-second level, and then the fuck did I just say? Like the minute level, and then like a minute and 30-second level, you know, shit like that. Like level that up, and as your mind gets stronger, you'll find that you'll be less swayed by those thoughts, and yeah, you'll be able to do tough shit even when your mind tells you not, like no. So you know, I hope that helps. Thanks for watching, and drop a like